Audio test. Testing audio to the live stream. Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees meeting. Audio check to the live stream. Audio test. Testing audio to the live stream. This is an audio test, the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees meeting. Testing audio. Audio test to the live stream. This is an audio test. Testing audio to the live stream.
Welcome everybody to the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees meeting. This is our regular meeting for Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. My name is Uduak Jointuk, President of the Board and Presiding Officer for this evening's meeting. We're going to 1.1 call to order. 1.2 is a roll call. Secretary Reese, do a roll call of the trustees.
Virginia Baxter.
Here.
Herlinda Chico. Absent today. Vivian Malaulu.
Here.
Uduak Jointuk.
Here.
Sunny Zia.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum of the board. Moving to item 1.3 is public comments on closed session agenda items. This is the opportunity for the public to give 3-minute public comment, no more than 20 minutes per topic. We do have one speaker card this evening for non-agenda items. Suzanne Englehart, item 1.4 personnel, for 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening. I want to talk about a personnel issue on closed session agenda item 1.4 as it relates to one of my full-time faculty members. And my question to you as a board, as you look at this during closed session tonight, is this termination the answer, or are there other options? Within the charge package, I'm not addressing every issue, but those that concern me. So in the charge packet, there are many accusations that appear to pit the department head against a faculty member, and both of those are faculty association members who I represent. But within there, I don't see any accountability for their leadership, which would be the dean, their manager, in regards to scheduling, oversight, or communication to help navigate this situation that appears to have been going on since multiple situations since 2019 to just this past week. The load sheets are generated through information the dean gathers through the contract process in conjunction with the dean before it's submitted to academic services to be inputted. But there's a process. I see it as checks and balances. And so and also one of the accusations through an outside agency that did some accounting saw that there was some funds that were misappropriated. But my understanding is that there's some past practices that there was potentially even a department head in the past that had done a similar situation, but this person was retained, and how they paid back that money was they did an overload. They weren't terminated. And then most recently, last week, there was a situation that this particular member had been on a leave, and they were still working. But then at one point, under the direction of the dean, the department head had asked for access to a Canvas shell. The only time access to a Canvas shell should be granted, other than extreme situations, is during the evaluation process, and only certain areas are accessible. This is a in-person, face-to-face class. No need to go into the Canvas shell. And there was 3 weeks into the leave that this person was asked to provide information. My time is up soon, but I just asked you, there's more to this, and there's some other processes that HR has acknowledged that they will be looking into. But as you consider this particular charge, I would ask that you just look more in depth on what's presented. Thank you.
Appreciate it. This is going to conclude public comment on closed session agenda items. We will now adjourn into closed session, and we should return in about 45 minutes to an hour. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody. Dario? Jerome in the back, you ready? All right. Calling the meeting back to order. We're coming out of closed session. Welcome to the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees meeting for Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. My name is Uduak-Joe Intuk, President of the Board and Presiding Officer of the meeting today. We are now coming back to item 2.1, reconvening. We're going to go to item 2.2, Pledge of Allegiance, and maybe I'll ask our former student trustee, Richard Blackman, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance since he's back with us tonight. Richard, would you lead us? Thank you, Richard. Moving on to item 2.3, this is our land acknowledgement. Long Beach City College acknowledges our presence on the traditional ancestral lands of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples. This land remains unceded territory. We acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from these lands. Long Beach City College honors and respects the Gabrielino Tongva ancestors and their connection to this land today. Moving to item 2.4 is roll call. Secretary Reese, would we do a roll call of the trustees?
Virginia Baxter.
Here.
Herlinda Chico will record as absent. Vivian Malauulu.
Here.
Uduak-Joe Intuk.
Here.
Sunny Zia.
Here.
And student trustee Hernandez.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum on the board, and we will have Vice President Chico will be absent tonight. Moving on to item 2.4, report out of closed session. I have one action to report out. The Board of Trustees on agenda item 1.4. Yes, 1.4. The board in closed session met regarding personnel item number 1, listed on the agenda for employee number 0771337. The Board of Trustees voted by name, aye or nay, to accept the settlement and release agreement between the district and employee 0771337. The vote was 3-1. Board President Intuk was aye. Vice President Chico was absent. Trustee Malauulu was aye. Trustee Baxter was aye. Trustee Zia was nay. Per the agreement, employee number 0771337 will receive a severance in the amount of $10,095, health, dental, and vision benefits through November 30th, 2022. There is no other reportable action from closed session tonight. We now move into item 2.6, is public comment on agenda items. This is an opportunity for the public to speak for 3 minutes, no more than 20 minutes. Do we have any additional speaker cards or any public comment on agenda items tonight?
No items or no speakers.
All right, we're going to move forward before we go into our recognitions. One item we have is minutes from the October 19th, 2022 regular board meeting. Attached to our board packet and online is a copy of the draft minutes. This is an action item. We'll need a motion and a second to advance.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Baxter. Second by Trustee Malauulu. Any discussion on the draft minutes as presented? Seeing here none, we'll take a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the minutes are adopted. We're now moving to item 2.8. This is reordering the agenda. This is an opportunity for a board member to propose a change in any agenda items in the upcoming sequence. Are there any changes anyone would like to propose? Seeing here none, we'll go to section 3. 3.1 is resolutions, Native American Heritage Month. Attached is a copy of the resolution, and it's recommended the Board of Trustees adopt Resolution 110922B, recognizing Native American Heritage Month as submitted. This is an action item. We'll need a motion and a second to advance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Zia, second by Trustee Baxter. We do have a framed resolution and a few speakers tonight. If I can ask Desiree Martinez, Tongva leader, to please come to the mic.
Hello, thank you for letting me speak. My name is Desiree Martinez, and I'm
the Gabrielino Tongva tribal archaeologist, and I appreciate you acknowledging that you are on the unceded territories of my community. And I want to thank you for supporting this resolution and recognizing Native American Heritage Month. Of course, we should celebrate Native American cultures and our history every single day of the year. I had the pleasure of helping the city of Long Beach kick off their Native American Heritage Month last week. And so one of the big things that I talked with the city about, and I hope that you will also consider, is one of the big things that we're trying to do now as a community is bring our ancestors home from being on museum shelves and have been excavated without our permission. And so there are possibly over 1,000 ancestors that are Gabrielino Tongva all over the United States and internationally, and we're working with other communities to help bring those ancestors home. But as a non-federally recognized tribe, we have no land to rebury those ancestors on. So we're asking our partners to help us either find resources or help us identify those lands in which we can rebury our ancestors. And I hope that some of you today here, as well as faculty and staff at Long Beach City College, can help us with that.
Also going to ask, we have Rio Medina and Dr. Becerra, or one or the other, or both.
Hello, good evening. Thank you so much. My name is Rio Medina. I serve Long Beach City College as the Career Pathways Coordinator for the Office of Early College Initiatives, but I also help co-chair the Native American Indigenous Collaborative here on campus, which was started about a year ago, and being able to really bring acknowledgement first and foremost, and also awareness as well as representation to the Native American and Indigenous students here on campus. Many of you have already probably seen my face throughout the communications video. So again, just thanking you all for allowing for this resolution to pass, for acknowledging our Tongva and Gabrielino leaders in our community, and to just really piggyback on what Desiree says. We're really working towards not only representation, but sustainability for Native American and Indigenous students here on campus. And so just to let you know real quickly, we ran some data. So we have over 150 students that identify as Native American on campus. We have over 300 that identify as Native American and Latinx. So tomorrow we invite you all for our kickoff event at PCC from 12 to 2. One of our other community leaders will be coming out and providing performances and drumming. We're gonna have some fry bread tacos to really kick off the celebration. And we're gonna have Desiree as well as Cindy Alvitre, who is another Tongva leader, come out and do a training. So I really ask for all of you who are sitting here in front to really participate as many of not only the community and celebration events, but the important training that we are actually trying to build here at Long Beach City College. So thank you so much.
I have nothing further to say, but thank you. They've done an incredible job at describing what's going on here and the spirit of what we're trying to accomplish. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. Open up the trustees that have any statements, comments. Trustee Zia?
Yes, thank you. Forgive me, I didn't quite get your name or first speaker. I'd absolutely love to help in any way I can. If there's a certain petition or a resolution, whatever call to action that will help with what you're doing with the Native ancestors, that would be my pleasure, and please count on my support. Desiree, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Malulu.
Yes, I too would like to thank you for taking the time to be here and really acknowledge and appreciate the efforts that you're all taking. I'm pretty sure you're already working with the organization at Palos Verdes at Point Fermin, because we actually had representatives from them 2 or 3 years ago at one of our board meetings, and they performed in full attire Tongva blessing and celebration event right here on the dais. But I know that Point Fermin is also very instrumental in trying to secure burial sites overlooking the ocean there on the cliffs. So it looks like by you nodding that you guys are aware of that and you're working with them. So I wish you the very best, and I hope it pans through. It looks very promising. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, let's take a vote. A voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any extensions? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. And are we going to take a brief recess for a photo and presentation? Okay, we'll take a quick 5-minute recess so we can take a photo. Thank you. All right, thank you again. Moving on to the next item, 3.2. This is a resolution, solidarity with the people of Iran. Attaches a copy of the resolution. The recommendation is the Board of Trustees adopt Resolution 110922C, recognizing solidarity with the people of Iran as submitted. This is an action item. We need a motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Zia, second by Trustee Baxter. We do have two speakers identified today, Dr. Nashun Valzadeh and also Mr. Mori Masvavi.
President Intuk, it would just be Dr. Valizadeh, and I'll be speaking as well.
Okay, sure. Do we want to have our guests?
Dr. Valizadeh is in the crowd. I believe I saw her. Dr. Nushin Valizadeh, please come to the podium and welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I'm honored to be here. My name is Nushin Valizadeh. I'm an equity and inclusion educator, fourth-generation activist, and the first in my Iranian family to be born in the United States. In 1999, I had the opportunity to go to Iran with my mother just before I was to start college at Clark University. Soon after meeting my activist uncle and other freedom fighters, protests broke out, similar to what we are seeing now. They kidnapped my uncle and took him to Evin prison, the same political prison where tens of thousands of freedom fighters are in this very moment. And just like today, where it has been announced that these peaceful protesters will be executed, we were also told that my uncle was scheduled to be killed. My mother and I had to head back to the States with this information. And here is a very short excerpt of a poem I wrote during that time. Drenched in sweat for the airport, in Satan's mouth for a cab, I stretch my head out the window and see someone's dried red blood on a wall. Madar digar pesar nadarid. Mother, you no longer have a son, was what was written. That stain appears to fade, reminding me how in the States these people will be forgotten, and I'll return to my heart of hopelessness and emotional homelessness. You see, I was a 17-year-old girl who just graduated from a high school that never showed any care or concern for my people or culture. I was so certain that I was about to go to a college where no one would care about this strange, faraway land and its people who were suffering in unimaginable ways. But I was wrong. The work that my sister, parents, and other Iranians did in the States, sharing the names and stories of the imprisoned activists, led to the awareness and support of non-Iranians, especially at colleges and universities. The student groups and professors at my college supported the Iranian students, encouraged us to express our ethnic identities with pride, and signed petitions. My uncle's sentence went from death to 13 years to just 1 year. When we saw him, he told us that the regime would have easily killed them all had they remained unknown and nameless in the world. This experience was inspiring and molded how I perceived college leaders like you as people who had genuine care and concern for their students and communities. Today, Iranians and non-Iranians all over the world are coming together at this time to speak out against the tyranny of Iran's theocratic government that is responsible for the brutal killings of Jina Mahsa Amini, Sarina Esmailzadeh, Nika Shekarami, and many other women, children, and their allies who have been killed, tortured, raped, and kidnapped out of their dormitories by Iran's oppressive forces. The regime has blocked Twitter and the internet, hoping not only to hide their violence, but they are banking on other countries to just forget about them, to keep them unknown and unnamed. Southern California has the largest Iranian community outside of Iran, but we need every leader and every community member to amplify what is happening and to not back down. Angela Davis talked about building alliances based on shared visions to create real impactful change. You are doing that with this resolution. You are using your power and your leadership to model collective care, concern, and action for your students, and you are inspiring them all. We are grateful, beyond grateful for your support. Please continue to align with us and be the voice of our people. Women, life, freedom. Zan, Zindagi, Azadi. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we'll go to Trustee Zia next.
Thank you, Dr. Valizadeh, and thank you for the work you do in the equity and justice and inclusion arena. Your work is laudable, and I'm proud to know you. We also have the president of Iranian Persian American Association of Long Beach here before us, Mr. Mori Murtazavi, who was so gracious to give the woman to have the speaking role, so I appreciate that. Last month I shared a little bit about my background, which I keep pretty to myself because of the trauma, the severe trauma. But for those of you who haven't heard it, I'm a proud Iranian American. We fled a war-torn Iran in my early childhood, seeking refuge with my family in the US, and I subsequently had the honor of living in Iran for high school and college between 91 and 99. And it's really hard for me to express the profundity and depth of the anguish and pain I saw in Iran and experience, but I'm going to try here. In my junior year in high school, similar to Mahsa Amini, the symbol for women's rights, life, and freedom, my friend, a 16-year-old Bahare Bajdani, was killed at the hands of the regime because she wasn't wearing a piece of cloth on her head properly. And during my last hours in Iran in 1999, I witnessed my classmates be beaten to death and imprisoned because they stood up for secular freedom. Leaving with a broken heart, I vowed to those I left that I would make sure their cry for freedom is heard in every interaction I have upon my return to the US. Audrey Hepburn once said that humanitarian means human welfare and responding to human suffering. And finally, that's what politics should be. That's why I got in the arena of politics, public office, and public service to respond to human suffering. Those brave Iranians for freedom, fighting for freedom in 1999, again in 2009, and now in 2022 are a true inspiration. I am infinitely proud and inspired for their peaceful civil disobedience, integrity, fidelity, and bravery. The women of Iran are leading this revolution, fighting for freedom and basic human rights. They are fighting to regain their secular freedom as they once had it, and there have been countless civilian deaths. In the words of the father of the great American hero and sniper, Chris Kyle, there are three types of people in this world: sheep, wolves, and sheepdogs. Some people prefer to believe that evil doesn't exist in the world, and if it ever darkened their doorsteps, they don't know how to protect themselves. Those are the sheep. And then you got predators. They use violence to prey on the weak. They're the wolves. And then there are those who've been blessed with the gift of need to protect the flock. These are a rare breed that live to confront the wolf. They are the sheepdog. In this case, these brave women and men are raging against the machine of theocrats by their peaceful resistance and confronting the wolves and predators who have ruled for the past 43 years with an iron fist, holding 85 million people hostage. Each and every one of them are profiles in courage and a beacon of hope for women fighting for basic human rights here in our nation and around the world, for agency over their bodies and for a future free of tyranny and theocracy. I am honored to introduce this resolution of solidarity with them and want them to know that they are not alone, that we stand with them and hear the roar and cry for freedom. A protest or a resolution of solidarity may not change the world, but it adds its fraction to the odds of change. There is value in a single step towards justice, and one step leads to another. Thank you, colleagues, for adding to the increments of change and justice. May the beautiful people of Iran be free at last. May they be free from suffering. And finally, in our lifetime, secure the blessings of liberty to themselves and their posterity. At the end of the day, the oppressed outnumber the oppressors. Here's to the Mahsa Aminis, the Bahare Vojdanis, Neda Agha Sultan, Sarina, Esmaizadeh, the oppressed, and all those who stand with them and fight for them. May we live to see the time where women no longer have to fight over their voice and their choice and over their bodies, and may we see justice finally prevail. Thank you, President Ntuk. That concludes my comments.
Thank you. Any other trustees? I would just like to say thank you for coming out tonight, and honored to have this resolution. I co-authored some of the language in it, and I think when we talk about all student agenda and representing our entire community, actions like this speak to that, and it's more than just rhetoric. And I just appreciate Maury coming out, and we'll take a brief recess afterwards and be able to take a photo, but just want to say thank you again, and we do stand in solidarity with the movement and for freedom and democracy around the world. So thank you. No other comments? We'll take a vote before we go. All right, votes for all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted, and we'll take a brief recess. All right, thank you, everybody. Thanks again. We'll now move into section 4, our standing reports. We're going to start off with our ASB presence report for 5 minutes. I don't know if she's here with us today. No? Alana? All right, moving past 4.1, moving to 4.2, student trustee report for 5 minutes.
Thank you to President Intuck and the Board of Trustees. Today, I would like to report that our ASB Club had their student leadership conference last month in San Diego. We had a pleasure to meet so many students, leaders from different campuses, student leaders that were advocating for fellow peers for resources that they wanted in their campus. I can honestly say that LBC has set up the bar very high. Majority of the resource that they were requesting are pretty much established here. It felt so good to exchange ideas and information on how campus has our resource set up to give them a sense of idea on what to bring back to their campus. Also, I would like to thank Linda Olmos, the manager of System Impact Students, for inviting me to the Long Beach Reentry Symphony on October 26th. An extraordinary full event of many people around the city gathered, create ideas that help change living situation for people who were formerly incarcerated and system impacted. Gathering ideas on what resource can be provided in the city of Long Beach, a few of the examples such as housing, employment, preparation, mental health, etc. I want to give my respect to those student panelists from our campus that had the courage to speak about their struggles and just speak about what changes they would love to see in the futures. These students took time from their day to advocate for their fellow peers and make sure their voices were being heard. I want to remind those students that it isn't how you fall, but how you pick yourself up. And finally, want to give a friendly reminder to our students that the scholarship application is open and will remain open until December 9. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Alex. Good reminder. Scholarships and FAFSA is due. Make sure you get your money. All right, moving to item 4.3, academic senate report for 5 minutes. We'll go to Suman.
Good evening, Board President Intuck, Superintendent President Munoz, and distinguished members of the board and colleagues. So we're in the middle of week 12, and so I want to once again thank all my faculty for their care, their compassion, their sweat equity, their time, their love that they put into their classes and their students. The Statewide Academic Senate had their fall plenary over the weekend in Sacramento, and I want to thank the following faculty for representing LBCC during the plenary with me: Christine Charles Bohannon, Grace Picorni, and Angeli Francois. So the passing of Dr. Koenig left the position of curriculum chair and ADGE subcommittee chair vacant. Dr. Douglas and I jointly decided that it was best to appoint a faculty into the role instead of holding elections so soon. The elections will be held in November and December for our curriculum chair, but I would like to announce that Doug Rafael graciously accepted the role as temporary acting chair for the Committee on Curriculum and Instruction. Doug was serving as our course evaluation subcommittee chair, and he will continue to serve in that role through the end of the semester. And Dr. Colin Williams also graciously agreed to serve as interim acting chair for the ADGE subcommittee. At the December BOT meeting, I will have names of the elected faculty for you. The Student Equity Plan made its rounds for the first and the second reading, and the Student Success Committee and to Academic Senate. I want to thank Dr. Jerome Hunt, Dr. Sonia De La Torre, and Dr. Heather Van Valkenburg for mindfully incorporating all of the feedback that has been suggested, and most importantly, for their leadership. And keeping with the equity theme, Native American Heritage Month events are underway and can be found on the college website. The Student Equity Mini Grant for 2023 to 2024 applications are open, and they are due February 28th. This year, the Student Equity Subcommittee is intentionally seeking proposals that address student engagement, connection, belonging, and mattering for our Black, African American, and first-generation students. Many grants range from $100 to $5,000. Also in the discussion of equity, in collaboration with Student Equity Faculty Professional Development, which has been spearheaded by Dr. Kieran Barr, a professional development series for faculty and campus will be on trauma. And I'd like to invite all of you here on the dais, and those of you in the audience, to also attend this PD series. I wholeheartedly believe that we cannot, and I'll say that again, we cannot change our student success rates for our students until we work on ourselves and heal the trauma within from our board, our administration, classified staff, and our faculty. So please, let's all work together to heal and put the best version of ourselves forward for our students. Again, our first session will be in December, and I would love to see everybody's face that is sitting up here in your seats at that first session. Lastly, hiring priorities. The committee has worked very hard for the past couple weeks reading through multiple faculty requests. I want to thank all of the faculty on HPC this year. Many faculty have been added in order to keep the number of faculty to administrators ratio according to the regulations. So I want to add these, thank the faculty who have been added to HPC who do not serve on Senate Exec, but have taken the time out of their schedule for this really important process. Damon Skinner, Leslie Forehand, Megan Cummins, Michael Robertson, Colin Williams, and Philip Huerta. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A lot of great information. Moving now to item 4.4, classified centers report with CC for 5 minutes.
Thank you. We have a slideshow. Thank you, Dario. But before we get started with that, I'd just like to say I really like what Suman said about working on ourselves. And I've known Kieran Barr for a long time. He was an adjunct instructor before he became part-time, and he's a wonderful psychologist, and I really appreciate his the work that he's done. So I hope I can make it to that. That's wonderful. Everybody take a chance to look at item 8.19 on the agenda, classified personnel. We have around 13 new classified hired in the last few months, and we have a lot of people working out of class. We have one retirement. His name is Stephen Gary. He was with the college for 22.5 years. I'm not 100% sure how long he was a custodian, and then he became a custodial supervisor, but I have it on good authority that he was a loyal, good guy, dedicated, would give you the shirt off his back for his friends. And I was just handed that. Thank you very much. So you can look on the page that's dedicated to him on when he was a custodian and then when he became a supervisor. Okay, so thank you, Dario. This is kind of unprecedented for us, is to, we co-sponsored an event with Dr. Munoz, and we've never really done these kind of events before. It was a big step for us, so that was pretty exciting. So at LAC, on Halloween, we co-sponsored the Halloween costume contest. Next slide. And so the person that did most of the work on the whole event was our new communications coordinator for the Senate, Jonathan Tejada. And if you know him, he's the British guy that answers the help desk phone. So now you know who he is. And then there's Sunday Dominguez, who just became a manager, but was on the Classified Senate Council for a very long time. Next slide. And then these were in the contest, and they were my favorite. They were the crayons from the Welcome Center. And next slide. And this is, on the right is Mr. Mendoza, who was a Girl Scout cookie box, and he really sold it. And then on the left, on the left, and then, and the right was Susan Fintland, who is a butterfly. Next slide. And then this is Myra Aguilar, who many of you know, and she was, I forgot what it's called. Yes, the Venus flytrap. Okay, next slide. And then here's a couple quick ones. Sharon McMahon, who works for ESL, and Jerome Thomas, as you all know. And then council members Ben Chase, Sharon, and Jonathan. And then there's me with LaTanya Harden, who's our treasurer. Yes, I wore that. It was, and a lot of people really liked it. I swear they did. It was really cool. Okay, next slide. And then here's a group shot with a bunch of different people, including Dr. Douglas is in there. Who else is in there? Deetris, Chernelle, who really sold her costume. Tony Somerville. I can't see who else. And then next slide. Okay, and I always talk about Wellness Wednesdays. Our next one is November 23rd with Gloria Gonzalez Wilson, who works in payroll. I hope I'm right about that. Showing her photography. Next slide. And last but not least, as we do every month, is our classified hero. This month is Sergio Grimaldi. Hero status is Healthy Viking Coordinator. His team is Student Affairs. His superpowers are classroom presentations, mental health awareness, and student equity. And the person that nominated him said, Sergio has been the face of basic needs for the last 4 years. He has developed programming for mental health awareness and equity within our students, staff, and faculty. And then Sergio's comment back was serving our students. Says the question is, what do you like about working at LBCC? Serving our students. Having the opportunity to serve students on a daily basis has been so rewarding. As a former community college student, it brings me great joy to serve students in roles that supported me when I attended community college. So that's our monthly classified hero. Thank you very much, and that is my report.
Thank you, CC, and thank you for helping with the Halloween costume contest this year. Looked great. We next go to item 4.5, LBCC FA Bargaining President's Report for 5 minutes with Suzanne.
Good evening, Superintendent President, distinguished board members, and members of the dais and the community. My report is very short tonight. My apologies for not being more prepared, but I just want to say congratulations to our incumbents, Trustee Zia, Trustee Baxter, and running unopposed, Trustee Intuck. I look forward to working with all of you moving forward this next year as we prepare to go into negotiations. We are robustly getting ready, and we look forward to interacting at the table with the district and just seeing what the best is that we can do to come out at a more robust contract to serve our faculty, that serve our students on a daily basis. It's a pleasure working with all of you, and that is just my report for tonight. So have a good night.
Thank you, Suzanne. We'll go next to 4.6, AFT Bargaining President's Report for 5 minutes with Robert.
Good evening, everyone. Like Susanna, congrats to all that won that difficult election this year. I heard they were all landslides, so I won't even go there. But I'm happy for all of you, and I hope all the other things that we wanted got elected yesterday, and we all move forward. I know I voted, I didn't bring the sticker, but you know it's important that we all get out there and vote, even in the rain. And so I did that too. So anyway, moving on to my report. Good evening, all of you. It's really great to see you again. You know, everybody on the dais I know works time and a half to be there, and I truly appreciate it, and so does the community. Community's with us always for these meetings, so without them, we wouldn't be everything that we are, and our students are also what we always consider the most important thing to all of us at our heart, and we always want to continue with that, the students as the center of our lives. So moving on, I want to give you an update on the reclassification study. HR announced at the last Personnel Commission, Philip Ardilio, Executive Director of Human Resources for Classified, announced the completion of the in-house portion. So all the descriptions have been described, and now we're moving, they've chiseled them in stone in the last 6 years. So now we have a whole stone set that we can turn into you guys later. Now we're waiting for the contract for the money portion. I hear the HR is meeting with them, so you probably have to ask them in closed session, where's the money? Because I can't do that. Anyway, so we're moving forward. It's a good thing. So to write it up, you know, classified, we're in 12 weeks, so we're pushing hard to get to the end. I know this month's difficult because at the end of the month, they're all going to gain about 5 pounds. So we're looking forward to that. But, you know, classified, at least I hope we are, classified work really diligently, and I just want to throw out a few facts. You know, Long Beach is an expensive little city to live in, and we love Long Beach and we love Long Beach City College. But the average cost of living in Long Beach is $22.51 a month for rent, and we're in the top 3% of the most expensive cities in the world. So I know we live in a great place, we have a great college, but you got to remember those little guys at the bottom, which are called classified, need your help sometimes. And we're going to be opening our contract again next month and be sunshining. And I just wanted to tell you in advance that, you know, we're working really hard, and our heart's here and our mind's here, and we do the best for our students, but surviving is becoming more and more difficult in this city. So thank you for your time. Congrats on everything. Have a good night.
Thank you, Robert. Moving to item 4.7, child bargaining presence report. I don't know if Abigail is here this evening or another representative. Seeing no one? All right, we'll move on to section 5, and then we're going to presentation section 6. But section 5 only has one item, 5.1, superintendent presence report. Dr. Munoz.
Thank you, Board President Entuck, and good evening, everyone. Here's my report to the Board of Trustees for the month of November. We'll start with something where I wished the end was a little bit different, but a few weeks ago, we traveled up to East Los Angeles College for the first ever Clash of the Presidents. Check it out.
Hey Viking family, this is me, Dr. Mike Munoz, Superintendent President of Long Beach City College. We're about to jump on these buses and head to East LA College to show support for our amazing Viking football team.
We are so excited. I just want to start off by thanking each and every one of you for making the time to take the trek out to East LA. Today's a fun little competition. It's a friendly competition between myself and President Alberto Rolon. We're calling it Clash of the Presidents.
So it was a really great experience. I have to say it was a close game. It was one of those nail biters. I will tell you, it came down to the final seconds and a final pass, and we didn't quite get there, but I'm very proud of our Viking football team. They played with a lot of heart. I also want to acknowledge all the faculty, staff, and students that came out. We had many of our Long Beach College Promise first-year Viking students that were present as well. And so it's just a really great experience, I think. And we look forward to doing more events like that in the future that are community building and support our student athletic programs. I want to acknowledge some folks that made the event possible. So I want to, again, acknowledge our football team, but I also want to acknowledge our national championship cheer team. They showed up. Typically, our cheerleaders don't travel. And so it was really exciting to see them perform at halftime on East LA's campus. I also want to thank Dean Randy Tutorp, Dr. Tracy Carmichael, Camille Bolton, and so many others for making the Clash of the Presidents a fun experience for our students. And so we'll get them next year. Next slide. So I'm really excited to share the Umoja Scholars Program had the opportunity to take 17 students to tour 5 historically Black colleges and universities last month. HBCUs were created to provide Black Americans access to education. The students visited Howard University, Vice President Kamala Harris is a graduate of Howard University, fun fact, Hampton University, Norfolk State University, and Morgan State University, as well as Bowie State University. In addition to touring the HBCUs, students had the opportunity to visit the African American History Museum, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, Lincoln Memorial, and Norfolk State University Homecoming, which was a special highlight for the students. This was a wonderful experience for our Vikings as they were able to see themselves in students, faculty, and administrators at the colleges and universities they visited. Many of the students said they felt a strong sense of cultural pride, as well as a connection to the college on the tour. We have a short video about the trip.
The HBCU tour that was provided by Long Beach City College for the emoji community was a fantastic experience for me as a participant. The tour definitely got to expand me to these resources and education that I never had before.
The HBCU tour was a really fun tour. Not only did we tour the schools, we also got to do activities like sightseeing, and we visited the African American Museum, which was really fun as well.
One of the things that I experienced on this tour, it was just to be on the HBCU campuses and see so many wonderful people, so many wonderful things.
I was familiar with HBCUs, not as many of them, nor the type of programs they might offer.
You learn brotherhood, sisterhood, you learn a nice, strong environment that you'll probably have a bond with people for life.
The feelings that I got being on campus and talking to students there, hearing about their experiences have been really encouraging to me.
The HBCU tour allowed me to have more of an open mind when applying, and now having been gone on the tour, I think that I have more of a chance of possibly attending an HBCU.
Now I am able to see more of what an HBCU means. I am able to have my own opinion about an HBCU instead of like opinion from a counselor or different types of sources that are outside. I can now form my own opinion, which is that HBCU is really a home and I would love to attend one.
I got to learn so much about myself and my history that now it has opened my eyes. So that is why I am entirely grateful and highly appreciative that Long Beach City College gave this opportunity for students to go on a tour fully paid, didn't have to worry about a single thing.
You could go anywhere in the world for any education, you get a degree in anything. Just be open-minded, do your research and explore, and you might learn something new about yourself. Just like I did going on this HBCU tour. I learned a lot about myself. And that's what we need to do in life, is to know ourselves and know what we want to actually do and what our passions are. Yeah, that's about it.
Wasn't that awesome? Let's give it up for our students. You know, these transformational experiences for our students are not possible without the dedicated faculty and staff that make these trips happen. And so if we can have Chris Moyer, Dr. Rainier Freeman, and Lisa Roper, if they're here, to stand up so we can just give them a big round of applause. It is a labor of love. And so we see you and appreciate you. Okay, living back to the slide. In late October, it was my honor to be one of the keynote speakers at this year's California Community College Extended Opportunity Programs and Service Association Fall Conference, otherwise known as EOPNS, in Palm Springs. The theme was reflecting, refining, and advancing the EOPS culture, and I was so happy to share my own personal journey as an EOPS student and my journey through being an EOPS student all the way to the college presidency here at Long Beach City College. And so again, just want to give a big shout out to our EOPS family. I think we talk about equity a lot on this campus, but we know that equity has been happening for decades here at Long Beach City College and throughout the state of California, and EOPS has always been at the forefront of leading equity efforts on our campuses. So again, congratulations, EOPS. So let's talk about Halloween. We had a lot of fun celebrating Halloween last week, probably more fun than you should have on a day at work. So sorry, bosses. It was really a great opportunity to not only celebrate just here at the Liberal Arts campus, but as well as at the Pacific Coast campus. And so I want to acknowledge Dr. Kirkwood's leadership for leading those efforts at the Pacific Coast campus. And as Cece mentioned, it was really my pleasure to co-host a Halloween party. We had a wonderful conversation every month. I have the opportunity to meet with the classified Senate exec, and that's where the idea really came from. We needed an opportunity to kind of bring folks together, still emerging out of the pandemic, and so it was a wonderful opportunity to bring the campus community together, and we have a quick video to highlight some of the Halloween fun. And yes, that is Michael Myers you saw. So as you know, let's give it up. That was a great Halloween event. I just kind of want to highlight, we are in the first year of implementation of our new strategic plan, and I know I see CC and Suman were very active in the SPOT planning committee. And, we landed on two of our themes being, inclusive and supportive. And so really thinking about living this strategic plan and not just having it be a shelf document, we've really been thinking about what does it look like to be supportive and inclusive and have opportunities where folks can come together and build community. And so we're looking forward to being intentional about how we move forward and having more similar events like this throughout the year that bring people out and build community. Okay, next slide, Dario. On November 1st, I represented LBCC during a virtual ceremony to accept the 2022 Equity Champion of Higher Education from the Campaign for College Opportunity. LBCC was recognized for our accomplishments in supporting Black and Latinx student transfer efforts. I would like to take a moment and thank all of our faculty, classified professionals, and administrators who've been working on improving our Black and Latinx student success. It's your incredible work that was recognized this last week, and I'm amazed and appreciative of all your hard work. So again, congratulations, colleagues. Next slide. The 2022 annual Colegas Conference was held right here in Long Beach last week, and as a founding board member, I was honored to give the welcome. Our mission is to help our Latinx students and professionals thrive and accomplish their academic and professional goals in the California Community College system. So congratulations to Colegas on a successful conference. Last Friday, LBCC and the Long Beach Collective Association hosted its first of its kind Cannabis Symposium. The event was designed to help other higher educational institutions and cannabis businesses learn to effectively partner on cannabis programs, as well as gain an understanding of the unique challenges and opportunities that the partnerships entails. Congratulations to Interim Vice President of Economic Workforce Development and Government Affairs, Melissa Infacino, as well as the Interim Director of Workforce Development, Dana Fries, and their amazing team for organizing this symposium. This past weekend, let me tell you, was an extremely busy one. On Saturday, we joined the first annual the inaugural Dia de los Muertos parade here in Long Beach. We had dozens of LBCC students and employees walk in the mile-long parade. We also had the presence of the Artes and Ofrendas Festival at the Rainbow Lagoon Park that took place after the parade. Participation in a cultural community event such as this is central to our identity here at Long Beach City College, and it was wonderful to be there. So as we said, it was a busy weekend, and we rolled straight from Dia de los Muertos to hosting our Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, along with other statewide elected leaders in a Get Out the Vote effort for this coming weekend, Get Out the Vote for this past Tuesday's election. So you can see here some photos, and it was great to see our students be able to participate in democracy in action. So congratulations to the students who participated. Next slide. And in closing, I'd like to end in highlighting that this month is Native American Heritage Month, the month of November. And so this year's kickoff will be starting tomorrow at the Pacific Coast campus on November 10th with a drumming circle, dancing, and a teach-in with food. There are additional events to celebrate Native American heritage throughout the month, so I encourage you to visit our websites. And so this concludes my report for this month. Thank you, and go Vikings.
Thank you, Dr. Munoz. And were you one of the Mario brothers? Was that your costume?
So, no, I wasn't Mario Brothers, but that's a good one because I think you're like the fourth person that's given me that zinger. I was a 90s hip hop boy band, something or other. There's a whole backstory to those overalls, I'll tell you one day.
Just for clarification. Great report. Thank you so much. Moving to section 6.1 is our All Africa Diaspora Education Summit. This is a presentation led by Dr. Lee Douglas, Dr. Alicia Kirkwood, and Dr. Jerome Hunt. And I know we have some students here with us tonight who were able to travel and give a presentation. I'll hand it over to Dr. Lee Douglas to start us off.
Thank you so much. Board President Intuck, Superintendent President Dr. Munoz, members of the board, community members, and Viking family. There is no place like home. There is no place like home. There's something about home that just feels right. I didn't really realize the impact that statement meant until my colleagues and I touched down in Accra, Ghana for the African Diaspora Education Summit. It's really hard to explain, but it just hit different when our Ghanaian brothers and sisters said, "Welcome home." Traveling to Ghana was a life-changing experience for all of us. We had days filled with deep, meaningful conversations, strong connections to our ancestral history, joy, laughter, long bus rides, delayed schedules, health challenges, canceled flights, and travel fatigue. However, we did it together. Our motto for the entire trip was, "No person left behind," as we cared and looked out for each other during the entire experience. The Ghana One Group has forged personal and professional bonds with one another and our brothers and sisters across the diaspora that can never be broken. We will never be the same again, personally or professionally, after our experience in Ghana. I'd like for the Ghana One Group to please stand and be recognized as I call your name. The delegation consisted of classified employee Angela Folks, if you please stand. One of our wonderful adjunct counselors, Shanae Wami. Remain standing. Full-time Umoja counselor, Krashad Moye. Former student trustee, Richard Blackman. Associate Dean, Dr. Irania Freeman. The Associate Vice President of the Pacific Coast Campus, Dr. Alicia Kirkwood. And Dr. Jerome Hunt. Let's give it up for the Ghana One contingent. All right. Thank you. Thank you, family. You can be seated. Tonight, we're going to give you a glimpse of our experience in Ghana. You'll first view an incredibly well-done slideshow that will provide a look at our experience in pictures. After the slideshow, Dr. Alicia Kirkwood will share more of our experience at the summit. Dr. Jerome Hunt will conclude tonight's presentation with the next steps and a call to action. Enjoy. Dario, please cue the slideshow.
This is a secret ballot.
Ooh. Oh, thank you for that introduction, VP Douglas. Yeah, as you could tell, this is still we're still processing this experience, and watching that video brings it back. And so I just wanted to read this. This is a placard that is at the Cape Coast Dungeon, and to give you a little visual, so the dungeons were beneath the castle of the British who had imprisoned, and I'll get to that later, but it just says, "In everlasting memory of the anguish of our ancestors, may those who died rest in peace. May those who return find their roots. May humanity never again perpetrate such injustice against humanity. We, the living, vow to uphold this." And so we chose this image because we really think it gets at the crux of foundationally what we felt as we experienced our time in Ghana, because it was also the impetus that reminds us why we do this work. If not for our ancestors who had the determination to survive, we would not be here. So far be it from us to not continue to fight and resist and to advocate on behalf of our students, some of which are here, and of our people. And so quickly and briefly, I'm just going to go over some experiences that we had that will then lead us into the call to action that Dr. Hunt will bring forth. So first and foremost, the Cape Coast Dungeon Tour. Each of us had our own personal spiritual, mental, emotional reactions to these dungeons that we will continue to probably process always. Collectively, we are in agreement that we were deeply inspired by the resilience and strength of our ancestors who faced the most heinous treatment and suffering imaginable, including ongoing rape and physical violence, starvation until eventual death, and in the case of the strongest and most persistent resistors, like the Ashanti warriors, women who stood and fought against the oppressor, their fate was outright murder. Within the dungeons, as we walk, so the dungeons are literally, I don't know if you all watch like Game of Thrones, envision where the dragons are under the ground. Within the dungeons, we literally walked over the petrified DNA. So imagine thousands and thousands and thousands of people crammed into small underground rooms as their blood, sweat, tears, and excrement built and piled on the floor beneath them. It is now there, still there. We walked over the DNA of our ancestors. They excavated one room so that you could see the difference. It was the most heinous I could imagine. And these were people from different tribes that were captured and imprisoned for months on months, up until a year sometime in these conditions, until the ships of the transatlantic slave trade arrived. Those who survived the dungeons were then chained and shackled and led to the door of no return. And there are pictures that we have literally of a big door of no return that led to the Atlantic Ocean, where they were then put on the ships of the Middle Passage that even some determined whether they were going to fight to survive or whether they were going to resist by throwing themselves into the ocean. The overall experience was horrifying. It was sickening. But it was also restorative, as VP Douglas said, to return home. Those who have not had the opportunity to know what land they hail from, there's always this seeking within you, this void that you sense. But having the opportunity to return home to Ghana and have our Ghanaian brothers and sisters receive us by saying, "Welcome home, you are here," was a tremendous experience that none of us will forget. So it was also enlightening, empowering, humbling for sure, and it was unifying. We felt every imaginable emotion all at once. Ultimately, all things considered, each of us were inspired by that resilience because we recognize that it is in us as well. We had the opportunity to go to breakout sessions that included school and college governance, curriculum, political implications, and resources. And what we found, and what I specifically found very appropriate and unique in this instance, is our sessions weren't positional or title driven. Regardless of the role, you could go to, so you didn't have to be an administrator to sit in on the governance. And this was important because the engagement even was in alignment with African cultural norms, prioritizing community and a collective voice, the we, rather than the westernized norms that prioritize the individual, the me. It was liberating to address the educational rights and needs of Black students and the community without the ongoing rebuttal or undermining comments many of our delegation expressed that they experience, even here at work, within meetings, when we attempt to center the experiences or the needs of Black students. The summit allowed for fruitful, critical discourse, active listening and learning, racial consciousness to be valued, and strategic thinking and planning could occur. And then lastly, I just want to leave you with this. We were amongst family. It was so clear that the African DNA is strong. From the Ghanaian people to our LBCC family, we mourned our ancestors together, we broke bread with one another, laughed together, and learned. Some of us even experienced personal triumphs, I won't say no names and bust people out, as they were able to traverse the canopy suspension bridge. You saw some of those photos. I gotta pause real quick right here because the suspension bridges were such that once you start, you cannot go back. And I thought, how just profound is even that experience, because it's so likened to our ancestors. They told us, once you go this route of the bridge, there's no going back. So some of us had to push through. And as VP Douglas said, we did it together. We encouraged one another the entire way. And so we were able to collectively get over that bridge. We heard and understood the call to decolonize our minds for the benefit of self and the collective community. But most importantly, we grew through knowledge gained as we learned of the many ways in which we have been miseducated, and also the ways that our 8,000 years of history have been intentionally distorted and portrayed. And as the opening quote by Marcus Garvey illuminates, a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. So needless to say, we, the Long Beach City College delegation of the All African Diaspora Education Summit, have been transformed forever. We are the descendants of those that refuse to die, and we thank the college for the opportunity to have this educational experience. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Hunt so that he can share with you all our call to action.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Kirkwood. I'm going to briefly present the next steps in our call to action for Ghana One. Overall, we are committed to utilizing the principles and strategies learned at the summit to position Long Beach City College and the Long Beach Community College District as global leaders and innovators in African-centered education. The standards of African-centered education align very well with our 2022-2026 strategic plan themes of inclusive, supportive, innovative, and synergy. ADES also reinforced the need for us to lean into our intended actions of the Framework for Reconciliation, wherein the board resolution recognized that Black people in the United States, including Long Beach, have suffered and continue to experience trauma from racist, unjust policies and practices. As a result, the Ghana One Group will design and present a proposed action plan this fall to the Superintendent President and to the Board of Trustees for consideration. At this time, we are pleased to present a sample of some preliminary ideas for consideration. 1, a study abroad program in Ghana. 2, a faculty exchange program with the University of Cape Coast in Ghana. 3, sponsorship of a Ghanaian school to provide them with supplies that they would actually need for their schooling. And 4, and then 5, sponsor a Ghanaian college student or students. And then finally 5, an LBCC reads and strategies for implementation at the department level at least one book related to African-centered education. It is only through proactive examination, action-oriented discourse, and an individual willingness towards self-reflection that LBCC will achieve the goals and outcomes set forth in our strategic plan and interdisciplinary planning process. An African-centered educational approach to teaching and learning would provide the district with an actionable framework to address the concerns for which the Framework for Reconciliation was first conceptualized. Culturally responsive, evidence-based professional development for administrators, faculty, and staff could be a natural byproduct of this type of alignment and implementation. Moreover, we welcome any recommendations on how to properly implement our proposed plan that we have presented here today. So I just want to close by saying thank you very much to Superintendent President Mike Munoz and the board for extending this opportunity for the Ghanaian One group here to be able to return home and what was definitely a transformational experience for us all. So that concludes our presentation for this evening, and I will gladly turn it over to you all if you have any questions for us. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I just want to say thank you for taking the courageous step to go on the trip. My apologies. I wish I could have gone with you. But I know it's, when we talk about representing the college, usually it's like around the state or at a conference, but a whole nother country is a further step. And I also want to thank the college administration, Dr. Lee, that we're able to support our employees and our students to be able to do this type of trip. I can recall the first time I went to Africa and the feelings and the connection. It's you see people in the crowd that look like your cousins and family members, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm from here, you know. And it's a great experience, and I'm looking forward to hopefully additional presentations on campus and student groups to share about this. I love the idea of continuing, official program, or maybe we can think about Long Beach as adopting a sister city like Accra, that we can do the sponsorship broader within our community. And I grew up in a Pan-African family, and my dad was a foreign student from Nigeria, and always learned about Kwame Nkrumah and his leadership and vision, and cheered on the Black Stars at the World Cup, but he was about, Swahili being the Pan-African language, so that there was one common communication, because you have so many different countries and tribal groups, and the way the countries were divided by the British or the Europeans, don't match. And so making sure that we can break down those systems as we're moving forward, and think about that as we go forward. And it's just want to close, and it's great to see the pictures on cultural appropriation and helping people understand what's real and what is not. But I just think of our students and our other folks that we're continuing to generate this opportunity for them to participate. But just thank you again for sharing. Thank you for going. I know it's passports and travel and COVID, and it was not easy. And I have been on stranded trips where you got no flight for 2 days, and it's just the way it is. So, but thank you very much for the presentation tonight. I know we have a few folks that would like to speak. Dr. Baxter, you want to go first?
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. And I took notes because I really want to think about these things. And anything that I can do personally to help, I'm happy to. I love the Marcus Garvey quote, and he was absolutely straight on. And I think we should do this every year, send different people, so that as many colleagues can have that experience that you've had. So thank you very much for doing this.
Trustee.
Yes, I'd like to echo the sentiments of my colleagues. I have to tell you, it was very hard to keep myself together. It's very emotional. A lot of things that you shared hit home for me. It reminded me of when I went back to Israel. And, what the British have done over there, and then also the Romans, that they came and slaughtered us. And in fact, I had my bat mitzvah on top of the mountain where Jews had to kill themselves so that they wouldn't be killed at the hands of Romans. And I just want to thank you. There were so much special nuggets in what you shared. The sense of community, I so identify of how that feels to walk in those sacred lands. And then also, it reminded me of when I visited the Holocaust Museum and remembering our ancestors and all those. And we still persevere. There's so much commonality. I really hope you expand on this. It's a pleasure supporting this type of, this is like hands-on, real, meaningful education that we should be investing in, and you can definitely count on my support personally, professionally, in my board capacity. And if there is anything else beyond that you can think of, I'm really looking forward to seeing your action plan and call to action articulated, so I can better synthesize it and see how I can make a difference and support you in a more meaningful way. But thank you. This was really special, and I appreciate it.
Trustee Malulu.
I just want to thank you all for such a great presentation. I love the different components of it, and I love how you all took turns sharing a different aspect of it, from the slideshow to the presentations, the quotes, and your personal anecdotes. I have never traveled abroad with students to other countries, but I have traveled within this country on various college tours, and even something as the students that we sent to the historically black colleges and universities trip. It is very transformative, and it exposes students who normally wouldn't get out of these communities to how things are done and different opportunities. I've had students say things like, I never even knew things like this existed, or I had no idea that this was an option for me. So I could only imagine hearing that from students who are domestically visiting different places. I could only imagine the feedback you're getting from the students you took to Africa. And I know Dr. Corral took students to Mexico last year. I mean, I'm proud of this institution for being able to have faculty members and administrators who are able to do that, who are willing to sacrifice time away from their families. And it's, international abroad with students. I mean, that's not an easy pill to swallow. So you have really stepped up big to do that, and it makes me very proud that we have you to be able to do that, and I look forward to a lot more. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Douglas.
Thank you, President Ntuk. I will be remiss if I did not mention, I hope I don't mispronounce his name, Louis or Louise?
I was
Oh,
gonna
go
say
right
that.
ahead, please.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, so we wanted to lastly give a shout out to our graphic designer, Luis, on Stacy's team. He was phenomenal. I sent him I got it down to like 85 pictures because everything was too near and dear to my heart. I was like, nope, that moment. So I literally said to him, Luis, we are trusting your judgment. And when I tell you it was just divine order, because when we all saw it, we were like, he understood the assignment. And so, Luis, if you're listening, shout out to you. Thank you so much. And we love hearing the support because we're already looking forward to a new delegation for Ghana too. And our hope is to take more students because with the limited lead time and the need for passports and visas and all of those things, we could not do that this year, but it will be an experience for this college. And the plan of action is coming. So thank you all for that as well.
Thank you so
Could
much.
I just say one thing? There is money in the foundation for study abroad. And it must be building up because it's endowment money. And we haven't had study abroad for 2 or 3 years. And I would suggest that you contact Paul Comiskey and see if some of that money, and I set it up, that's why this lady died and I decided that she wanted to do study abroad. And so the money is there for students. And I think this would be a wonderful, great use for that money.
Good to know. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for the presentation. And let's give a big round of applause. Thank you, everybody. Moving to section 7 of the meeting tonight is 7.1, resolution authorizing teleconference of open meetings pursuant to AB 361. This is a resolution we adopt every month that allows us the potential to have online meetings. Attaches a resolution, and it's recommended we adopt resolution 110922A, authorizing teleconference open meetings pursuant to AB 361. I'll need a motion and a second to advance.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Baxter, second by Trustee Zia. Any discussion on this item? Attaches a copy of the resolution. We'll take a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Moving to item 7.2, this is appointments to the Citizens Oversight Committee. We have two folks here before us. This is an action item as well. It's recommended the Board of Trustees confirm appointment of Sean Dunbar and James Chura for a term of November 10th, 2022 through June 30th, 2024 to the Citizens Oversight Committee, or COC, as submitted. This was advertised in the Press Telegram. We had multiple applications, and these are our top two candidates. We'll need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Zia, second, and by Trustee Baxter. Any discussion on the item? I'd just like to say I'm excited about both of them on there. Sean is a construction management professional. This is the citizen oversight of our construction bond program. And also James Chura is one of our LBCC Hall of Famers and community leaders. And so it's great to have two folks representing the college. So with that, we'll take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the two are appointed. Moving to Section 8, the consent agenda. This is the agenda where it's consolidated in order to be an efficient meeting. But 8.1 is any item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately if a member of the Board of Trustees so requests. Is there any request for consent agenda items to be considered separately? Seeing here none, we'll move to 8.2. This is an action item that will adopt approval of the consent agenda as presented. We'll need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Baxter. Second by Trustee Malulu. Any discussion on the consent agenda as presented? Seeing and hearing none, we'll take a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the consent agenda is adopted. Moving to Section 9, this is Human Resources. 9.1 is a revised LBCC AFT 2022-2023 classified salary schedule. This is an action item. It's recommended the board adopt a revised classified salary schedule for this current fiscal year from ranges 1 to 9 submitted, and we'll need a motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Zia, seconded by Trustee Baxter. This is, again, an update as we've had to make sure we adjust for minimum wage increases. Any other discussion on this before we take a vote? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? The ayes have it, and the new salary schedule is adopted. Moving to 9.2 is a revised exempt salary schedule effective January 1st, 2023. This is also an action item. It's recommended the Board of Trustees approve the revised exempt salary schedule effective the first of the year. I'll need a motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Baxter, second by Trustee Zia. Any discussion on this increase? Again, this is related to the minimum wage increase in 2023. Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Ayes have it, and schedule is adopted. Moving to Section 10, Academic Senate, we have no items tonight. Section 11, Academic Affairs, we have no items tonight. Section 12, Administrative and Business Services, we do have an item. 12.1 is a resolution on direct payments. It's recommended the Board of Trustees adopt Resolution 110922D that authorizes direct payments as submitted. This is related to the LA County Office of Education. I'll need a motion and a second to proceed.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Zia, seconded by Trustee Baxter. Dr. West, would you like to give any update on this?
This is just a language update, something that's done periodically, and this updates information. Main change is including our Director of Fiscal Services as kind of designee of any payments that come through, that they don't have to be done through purchase order, they can be a direct payment. So that's the main change.
Great. I do see this resolution will make it valid through June 30th, 2027. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, let's take a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any extensions? The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Section 13, Student Services, no items tonight. 14 is reports Board reports, Board of Trustees for 5 minutes. Any volunteers to start? We'll go from one side to the other.
Go that way.
We'll go with Trustee Zia till we go for 5 minutes.
Thank you. I will try to be brief. I just wanted to congratulate Trustee Dr. Baxter on her victory and for running such an incredible and positive campaign despite the negativity and taking always the high road. I admire you, Trustee Baxter. You inspire me. I try to follow your footsteps, and I did the same here and took the high road. I'm glad that the voters of Long Beach voted for us, and I appreciate their trust and look forward to continuing to work with you to make sure Long Beach City College keeps its greatness and puts students first and really focuses on how we can be better and bigger and strive for scholastic excellence and career excellence for our students. That's all I have.
Thank you. Go, Trustee Baxter.
Okay, thank you, President Ntuk. I too want to second what Trustee Zia said. Congratulations on her election, and also the fact that President Ntuk did not have an opponent, so he's automatically reelected. And I want to thank the voters. Did I say it wrong? Oh, okay. Thank the voters in my area, that's Lakewood, and kind of a crazy Long Beach from the LA River to the San Gabriel River, for showing their trust in me. And I also want to thank my opponent. I was very upset with this election, not with my office, but with other people and how they ran their office. And I have to say, my opponent, Mr. Zepeda Rizzo, did not go low. He had a very fair campaign. Somebody asked me, what do you think of your opponent? And I said, he's a very nice man, a very intelligent man. I just think I can do a better job. But he was not negative at all, and I truly appreciate that. And so I just, like I said, thank you to the voters. Okay, Dario, start with the photos, please. And I lost a minute here. I sent these to Dario and they're not in order, but I'll keep going. I was a sponsor of the Lakewood Education Foundation golf tournament. I couldn't play in the tournament because, if you haven't noticed, I've been limping, but I was proud to donate to the Lakewood Education Foundation, which benefits the schools in Lakewood, which is part of my area. Okay, keep going. Trustee Malauulu and I attended the Ethnic Studies Symposium. On the right is Dr. Frank Perez, who was the coordinator of this. He did a super job, very, very good job. Of course, we know Dr. Douglas, me, Trustee Malauulu. Then the man in the middle is Dr. Miguel Zavala, who was the keynote speaker, and he was outstanding. I was very, very impressed with him. Megan Kapinski, who teaches reading and is also the advisor for Teachers of Tomorrow, and of course, Dr. Perez. I attended the whole session, and not only did Dr. Zavala speak and do an excellent job, but then Dr. Perez brought in two twin sisters who teach in the Val Verde Unified School District. And they talked about how, and being a former history teacher, I really like listening to them, how they incorporated ethnic studies first in plain old U.S. history and how they brought that in, and then how they taught ethnic studies. And what I really appreciated is they didn't go in day one and say, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. They took a long time investigating and laying the groundwork and everything, and they're very, very successful teachers at their high school, and they were very, very dynamic. Okay, next one. Oh, this was the Uclela dinner at which one of our former students was honored, but there's Sharon Weissman, who is, I think, now the president of the Port of Long Beach, me, my friend Pat Wong, and of course, interim vice president Melissa Infosino. And it was held at the Terrace Theater, and the Uclela Center is part of Cal State Long Beach, and I had never been to their event before, and it was really very, very well done. by them, and what they do, they center on ethical studies and how they put the concept of ethical, I'm getting mixed up here, studies in every class at Cal State Long Beach. Okay, next one, Dario. And then this was the Ronald McDonald Gala, which I had a table and had various people in our community sit at the table with me. Former well, I go like Al Austin, who is councilman from the 8th District, my friend Pat Wong, she's my driver. Sharifa Batts, who is a good friend of mine, John Philpott and his wife, Sandy Rittman, who are retirees from City College, Rebecca and Margaret Warren, and then Barbara Ellis, who's a jewel, and you'll hear more about her in a minute. Then Dr. Felton Williams, me, and my friend Charlotte Joseph, who's a retired political science professor. Okay, next one. Now, here I was at Jan Quinn Wyant's memorial in the lobby of the auditorium, and her family does a super job. And so I said, I want my picture taken in front of the Bob and Barbara Ellis auditorium. So I'm there pointing to that. That was on a Saturday afternoon. Beautiful, lovely tribute to Jan Quinn Wyant, who was hired the same year as I am. And so it kind of bothered me that she's gone and I'm still here. Okay, next one. Okay, this was the MOLA Gala at which George Pla was honored, and so that's me, obviously Vice President Chico, President Munoz, President Entuck, and Vivian Malauulu. Lovely event, a wonderful event, and honoring a very deserving gentleman, George Pla. Okay, next one. Okay, now, this, I didn't send these to Dario in the right order, but this is who was honored at the Euclala dinner. Her name is Taryn Williams, and Taryn Williams was a Long Beach City College student, Rotary Scholarship winner, one of our valedictorian speakers. She went on to Cal State Long Beach, and now is getting her PhD at UC Irvine, and so she got a $10,000 scholarship, so I was so happy for her. And so she was honored. And then a week ago Wednesday, we had an event at the Rotary. There I am. I don't know if I'm yawning or yelling at somebody, but anyway, it was called Feed the Future. And so what the two ladies who put this on, Tina Berry and Leslie Weiberg, did is they had us stuffing bags, one bag with toiletries and one bag with food, and I was in the assembly line, and we had all kinds of fun. There was music, and we're all working and putting these together. 500 of the bags went to Long Beach City College, 1,000 went to Cal State Long Beach. So this was a Rotary project. And then, is that the end, Dario? Okay. All right, then other things that went on during this time, I gotta look and see what I missed. Actually, I got almost everything. Oh, I went to Long Beach Memorial Hero. Oh, am I up?
Time?
It is?
5 minutes?
Did I get, I did lose that 1 minute?
You got an extra minute.
Okay, can I say in memory?
You got memory.
And then lastly, I wanted to ask President Entuck to adjourn the meeting in memory of Mary Ann Sadler, who is the mother of Cece Sadler. And I've known Mary Ann for a number of years since Cece was a young girl. And she was a delightful woman. She loved to go to the bistro. She loved to go to the senior center. And so the family is asking for donations to the Long Beach City College Foundation in her name. And she will be sadly missed, but had 3 wonderful children and many grandchildren who I'm sure will miss her even more than anybody else. And then also in memory of Andre Chico, Herlinda Chico's brother, who tragically died, and we should honor that too.
Great, thank you so much. I'll go next. I was able to attend the ELAC versus LBCC president's battle that was there. It was a very close game. We had momentum, 4th down. If we would have made the last catch, we would have been at the 10-yard line with 30 seconds to go to win the game, and it didn't happen. And I know Dr. Munoz was conflicted. He's a ELAC alumni, and then, they was almost like a homecoming. They were just so, welcoming back, and I was like, what's going on here? But it was a great event. Look forward to hosting them at that stadium next year, but it was really nice engagement opportunity with our colleagues north on the 710 freeway. Was excited to host the LBC See Cannabis Symposium, our local Long Beach Cannabis Association, which is like the kind of business association or trade group for the 30 dispensaries in Long Beach, plus the laboratories. I think there's 8 or 9 different laboratories. We were able to host a symposium here in this room. Folks were online from around the country. Folks were here from around Southern California, our students, and it was a really great opportunity to share best practices and what's happening in a different area. And then talk about our education program. I really want to thank Melissa for a great job. It was talking that, we have a training program that we thought at first, we're going to have 30 students and it's going to be new and we're going to open it during the pandemic. And lo and behold, 800 people signed up. And we kept adding classes and people kept signing up. And there's just huge demand for this relatively new industry, legalized industry for both recreation and medical marijuana that's, coming into out of the shadows, and also talked about our work with the disproportionate impact it's had on Black and brown communities over the years, and the criminalization of marijuana and the war on drugs that we're working on expungement workshops. We're working with the city of Long Beach on their equity program, which pays for some of the folks who are in the training, and making sure that the new owners and the new workers are diverse and representative of Long Beach. And so it's unique because not every city has authorized it, and Long Beach and LA are 2 of the biggest cities in the region. And so that was really a great opportunity to share some of our workforce development here. I did get a call from Long Beach State. They're looking for chemical engineering students. I'm an alumni from there. I've taught there. I know student trustee Hernandez and I have talked about it. But enrollment is down, but they have spots for about 100 chemical engineering students. And so if you like science, you like chemistry, you like math, it is one of the highest paying academic degrees you can get. You can go on and get your PhD in engineering. You go to business school, you go to law school. You can just work as an engineer. There's just a lot of opportunities. And so we're going to be doing some engagement on campus this semester, encouraging folks towards this November 30th deadline for the CSU, which has gotten pushed back. I think it's December 15th now. They give extra 2 weeks this year to apply. But don't wait till the last day, because, it always crashes on the last day of applications. So try to get it in early. But attended their industry advisory board meeting with the Department Chair Roger Lowe, and so we're going to continue to be engaged and appreciate all the staff who's been pulling data and contacting students and making sure that we create a STEM pathway and opportunity there for. It's very difficult to get into Long Beach State. It's an impacted major at the College of Engineering, and so they usually have higher GPA and transfer requirements, and they're looking for people now. So if you know other people, even not at Long Beach City College, who are interested in a chemical engineering career, please let myself know or Long Beach State, reach out to Long Beach State's Chemical Engineering Department. It was a great honor this last weekend, again, host the governor here on campus and the constitutional officers. We seem to be the place to go. We've had Hillary Clinton, we have Bernie Sanders, we've had President Biden. The governor's been here twice or 3 times now, and so it's, some people say it's our proximity to the airport. We say it's a great campus. The Secret Service has checked us as we're a safe place to come. So it was just really nice to be able to host everybody in person. About 500 folks in the gym this last weekend. I think over 2,000 people signed up, and we had more demand than we could host. But it was really encouraging people to go out and vote and exercise their civic duty. And so that was a really nice event to have here on campus. And then congratulations for everyone who got elected and reelected. To my 2 colleagues, 4 more years. I was saying, I think I got the biggest share of the vote. I got 100% of the vote, so I had nobody running against me. But, and also just congratulations to everyone who ran their campaigns. It's a very difficult and unique experience running for office. But in Long Beach, we made history last night, electing the first African-American mayor in Long Beach's history, Rex Richardson. And so we're really excited to be able to make that happen. And my time is up at 5 minutes. And I'll pass the baton to Trustee Mauzu.
Can I say that if you had been the coach, maybe they would have tied?
I got to see if I can get a contract. I don't know if that's a conflict of interest, me coaching and trustee. We'll go to Trustee Malu.
Trustee Untuck, with respect, I would like to correct something you said. I don't think our campus is selected for these important rallies because of our proximity to the airport or because we have a nice campus and all this security. I strongly believe our campus is selected because of our students and the energy that they bring. And our guests always feel at home when you've got this vibrant, diverse crowd there. So apologies, but I had to make that statement. And also, Trustee Baxter stole 2 of my items on my report. Just saying. No. Okay, you can start the clock now, sorry. Okay, so I would like to stop taking my time. I would like to congratulate my 3 colleagues on the board for their reelection yesterday to the board. I look forward to hopefully making things better this term around. That's always a prayer. And on a note of personal privilege, you know, I have a lot of respect for political campaigns that are ran with class and decorum and respect. And I really get really frustrated, and it's disappointing to see otherwise, but it seems like we've normalized that as a society. We've accepted it. So maybe we can all do better. Okay, so October 24th, I went out to New York for the ACCT conference, which was fantastic. Dario, if you can cue that one picture there. Dr. Munoz and I had the wonderful opportunity to attend the PROA Promise Initiative, which was conducted by the Northern Marianas College Board of Regents. And the reason why the PROA Promise is so important is because they got their inspiration from the Long Beach College Promise. PROA is their mascot, which is a sailing instrument, device, boat, canoe. I'm sorry if I'm not articulating that correctly, but the way that they've been able to recover, there's an amazing video. I wish I had the time to share it with you. It's about a 5-minute video. This community college has overcome so much adversity, including a typhoon, and they were able to still have classes and still have a commencement in spite of students literally being taught outside on rocks and underneath falling palm trees. So great partnership that we've developed through my work with ACCT and my service to the Pacific region. Just incredible opportunity to be able to serve. And then I don't think I sent you the next picture. Did I send you the one with the, never mind, I don't think I did. Anyway, on October 31st, I was also at PCC for the Boo Bash, which was a ton of fun. November 1st, I got to participate in the Dia de los Muertos procession here at LAC. Kudos to the student organizers and the faculty and the supporters, the families of these students who came out. I didn't grow up celebrating Dia de los Muertos, even though I am Latina, and I learned something. I was very moved by the event. Dr. Corral and Trustee Chico both shared about the passing of their siblings. It was very emotional. So I just want to commend this group for bringing that important aspect of the Latino culture to this campus. On November 2nd, I attended a YMCA event as a board member of the Y for the Taste of Mexico. And the reason I'm sharing that, I didn't go there as a trustee, but the reason I'm sharing that is because we had several of our students there, which shows that our students are everywhere in Long Beach, and they're serving different organizations and nonprofits. November 3rd, Trustee Baxter took my picture and shared the summit, so I won't talk about that. But it was great. Looking forward to doing it again. On November 5th, I was at the Dia de los Muertos Grand Parade and Festival. Again, fantastic. This is a photograph of Trustee Chico and her beautiful family. That's her parents and her niece and nephew. And then Dr. Munoz and his friend that he went to middle school with, who were there in full-on regalia. Dr. Munoz, my mom didn't know you were superintendent president of Long Beach City College. She thought you were one of the people hired as a performer in the parade. Don't worry, I explained it to her. On the 6th, once again, we did have the rally here for the California constitutional officers. And I'd like to end with the next slide, just to congratulate all of the candidates who were elected last night. This is the mayor-elect of Long Beach. The election won't be finalized, the results for another couple of weeks, but all indications show that Vice Mayor Rex Richardson was elected as the next mayor of Long Beach. And Trustee Chico was there, but unfortunately she didn't get in on this picture. Just want to say that we look forward to continuing the work that Dr. Robert Garcia started with us, with Vice Mayor and Mayor-elect Rex Richardson, in service to our students and our community. I'd like to say 3 quick things. I don't know where I am with time. Number one, Dr. Munoz, I just really want to thank you for all the hard work you're doing in the community. We see you, and you were hired to do that, and you are doing it. Love how many people stop me and say, you know, Dr. Munoz was here, Dr. Munoz was there. When I got to join you at Colegas, everybody knows who you are all over the state of California, all over the country. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being present and being involved. For the rest of you, I'd like to wish you a beginning of the holiday season, that it's joyous and happy and healthy and safe. Dr. Baxter talked about closing the meeting in honor of Andre Chico, Trustee Chico's brother, who passed away 2 weeks ago. And in closing, this Friday is Veterans Day, so I would like to send a shout out to all of our student veterans. And I'd like to let you know that a project that I've been working on for the past 6 years with the theater department, Deploy the Arts with Dr. Greg Mortensen, is coming to fruition December 1st in a theatrical production that I will be a part of. So save the date. I'll see you. I'll be on stage. I wish I had a flyer to share with you, but it's not ready yet. So December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we're going to be on stage. Thank you, everybody.
We will be in the audience. And
that's right. I'll be on stage.
We'll be.
I'll be signing autographs.
We'll write an op-ed about it afterwards. What we
That's
thought
right.
Your performance.
Thank you. Theater is kind of my jam. So.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. We've got all our board reports, and of course, please keep Vice President Chico and her family in your thoughts and prayers. She's not here with us tonight. Her brother passed away, and we're going to adjourn in his memory. But it's very unexpected, surprising, and a sibling, very, very difficult time. So just we'll close in addition to his memory this night. Moving to item 14.2 is board committee reports. I don't believe we had any committee meetings since our last board meeting. We're moving to item 15, or section 15 is public comment on non-agenda items. I do have one speaker card. Do we have another speaker card? Or this is an opportunity for 3 minutes per speaker, no more than 20 minutes per subject. I do have Maisie Vilches from the Viking newspaper with us, a student, for 3 minutes, if we can cue up the timer. Maisie, welcome.
All right, before I get started, I'd like to apologize for my voice. Kind of lost it yesterday. Good evening, everyone. My name is Maisie Vilches. I am the editor-in-chief of the Viking News. Some of you may have talked to me before. On Monday, PCC went into lockdown, and the Viking got word of it after a journalism student that was not on campus sent a text to ask if we knew what was happening at PCC. My colleague Nick Eisman and I made way to PCC from LAC to get more info, just to be turned away from a meeting that we later found out was labeled as public in an email sent out by Tracy Carmichael, the same administrator that turned us away from the meeting. We turned to the building the meeting was being held in to find the door wide open to welcome those interested in attending 13 minutes after we had just been turned away. This is a violation of student press rights and in the State of Education Code and the First Amendment. That being said, this is not the first time LBCC has created obstacles for its journalism students, but it is the first time they have violated our rights. These instances have impeded on the students completing their course curriculum. It is within our legal right, and it is our duty to inform the school's population. I cannot think of a more pressing matter than a shooter threat, especially since messaging systems, which were supposed to act as a line of communication to the school's population, failed LBCC's claims to have failed. LBCC claims to have a culture of care here on campus, but I can't think of nothing less caring than a violation of First Amendment rights. I am calling on each of the trustees to sit with our editors within the next month to discuss student press freedoms and how the school can better handle interaction with the student press. Trustee Malauulu, as a former journalist and professor of journalism, I implore you to lead and organize this gesture. I will be leaving my number with you and will be waiting for you guys to reach out. Thank you so much for your time. And I'll just be handing out a copy of the email that said that the meeting was public, as well as my number and email to every trustee. Thank you.
Thank you, Maisie. Appreciate it. You can give it to Secretary Reese, and she'll pass it out to us. Thank you so much. Do we have any other speakers tonight? Thank you again. We'll move on to our next section, 16 second closed session. We will not have a second closed session tonight. Moving to section 17, adjournment. The next meeting of the Board of Trustees will be on December 14th, 2022. Closed session at 4:30, open session at 5:30. This is my last full meeting as board president, unless somebody makes a crazy vote next month. But so thank you, everybody. And we do want to conclude, and wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving if we don't see you. But we do want to conclude and take a moment of silence for both Andre Chico and Mary Ann Sadler. So if you please join me in a moment of silence in memory of their lives. Thank you, everybody, and this adjourns our meeting tonight. Have a good evening, and thank you for being with us.